So in the last class, we were discussing about, okay, one second, charges that are in a state of rest. I will just walk you past the previous slides. We discussed the electroscope and how the leaves are repelling each other if charge is being induced in them, right? And this is your triboelectric series, by which you can determine what kind of charge is developed. Like if I say I'm taking a glass, focus on the first one. I'm taking glass and I'm taking maybe say steel. If I'm rubbing glass onto steel, what's happening is glass is losing electrons and becoming positively charged, steel is gaining electrons and becoming negatively charged. Okay, the ones which are on the top of the triboelectric series tend to lose electrons. The ones which are near the end of the triboelectric series will gain electron. Okay, moving further. This is your Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law is an analogous meaning is that relatable. Like in gravitation, how you have Newton's law of gravitation, Coulomb's law is the same, analogous to the gravitational law. Only thing is here we don't have masses. Here we have q1 and q2 separated by a distance r. If that's the case, then Coulomb is telling that the charges, okay, he's not written it here. Coulomb is saying that the force between the charges is proportional to the product of the charges, also proportional inversely to the square of the distance between them. The relation can be brought about in this way. F equals k q1 q2 by r square, wherein k is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Okay guys, here 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, every time you don't need to write, you can just use 9 into 10 to the power 9. I think it's there here, k value, proportionality constant. Okay, Coulomb's law states that the force between two charges placed at a distance r between them is proportional to the product of charges and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. That's Coulomb's law. What is epsilon naught? It is permittivity of free space. Permittivity of free space. Permittivity means allowance of or ease of flow of charge. Actually, if I have any charge, this one you understand this concept. If I have any charge at rest, I think I have discussed, wait 1 second. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think here we have discussed, right, guys? We have seen this 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth point. This is the fifth point. Charges at rest produces only electric field. Charges in constant velocity produces electric and magnetic field. Make sure you know these points, then you can relate it to what you are studying. So charges at rest night produces electric field. So this is the imaginary electric field around the charge. Negative charge you have it coming towards the negative charge, and positive charge you have it going away from the positive charge, right? So going back. So here also, that's what we are assuming. If there is a charge, then electric field is around the charge. Depending on the nature of the charge, whether it's positive or negative, the kind of field will develop. Now, if the charges are like charges, the field is repelling. The force is repelling each other because the fields are repelling each other. Likewise, both negative means they are repelling. Whereas if they are unlike charges, this is the kind of direction they will be in towards each other. Okay. I hope this is clear. Permittivity is changing if the medium is changing. Suppose I keep the medium in water, if I keep the medium in kerosene, usually you come across water, kerosene, other medium in those two. Then the force will also change. That I will leave it for you to learn it in 12th grade. Right now, only this much you need to know. Moving further, this is what is electric field. Once again. Okay. Electric field is the region around a charge where its influence is felt, or where the electrostatic force is felt. See, this is all the region. Depending on the magnitude of the electric field, so let's say that's very small, point charge is there, means this much region it's able to show its influence. If I'll take a charge of heavier magnitude, let's say this is only 2 microcoulomb. If I'm taking a charge of 2 coulomb, then its influence is scattered over a larger region. Are you able to understand, guys? Is there any doubt in that concept? So this charge which is having a larger magnitude is called as source charge. The one which is having lower magnitude is called as test charge. Make sure that our test charge is of sufficient, such less magnitude that it cannot affect the flow field lines of the source charge. It should not affect the field lines of the source charge. Okay, see, electric field. Now you can determine the direction, or you can determine the nature of this charge. It's going, the direction is inside, inside, inside. In this way, if it is, which one is having, which charge is having inside kind of direction? Negative. This one, the charges are going away, away, away. Away means positive. So you, by seeing the diagram, you are able to detect whether the charge is positive or negative. If the field lines, see, if the field lines are going towards the negative charge, towards the charge, it is negative in nature. Away from the charge, it's positive in nature. So they usually say like this: the field lines start from the positive and terminate at the negative. Start from the positive and terminate at the negative. One more thing you need to know is the field lines, magnetic electric field lines, just like magnetic field lines, will not cross each other. Anywhere will not cross each other. If you want the direction of the field line, I will show here only. Suppose I am looking at this field line. Okay. If I want the direction, any point I want the direction, the tangent at that point will give me the direction. So you can't just assume maybe like this the direction, maybe no, this and all can't. Only the tangent will give you, see this point tangent, this point tangent. Okay. So if you want direction any point, the tangent of the field line will give you the direction. So suppose I want to complete, okay, this is starting this way. All right, I'll talk about this one. I want this one, tangent on this line. What is the tangent? It's only going straight. Okay, that way. This point I'll discuss later on. I don't want to confuse you now. It's mutually perpendicular. Why it's mutually perpendicular, I'll explain. I'll just tell you one fun fact. Suppose this is the charge. I'm just assuming a cuboidal charge. It's not cuboidal. Suppose this is the charge, guys. Suppose this charge is of magnitude 3 coulomb. 3 coulomb is comparatively big value. Usually we discuss in microcoulomb. Okay. If you don't know whether it's big value or not, I'll show you. See, Q equals to Ne is our charge formula, quantization of charge. Suppose I'm talking about 1 coulomb of charge. I want to know number of electrons, and this is our E value. Okay. When you find, you will get that 6.25 into 10 to the power of 18 electrons are flowing for 1 coulomb of charge. For 1 coulomb of charge, 6.25 into 10 to the power of 18, that's a huge value, by the way. Okay, so we usually discuss our charge on experimental purposes in microcoulomb. Okay, so now I'm just going to tell you that there is let me say one coulomb of charge that is there over here. Now, remember that this 1 coulomb of charge is not at the center. The charge that is there in any equipotential surface, wait one second, is always on the surface. There is no charge at the center. Because there is no charge at the center, there is no electric field at the center. These points I can explain specifically once I tell formula. So right now I don't want to discuss. That time only you will understand that why it is mutually perpendicular. Okay. So just remember this, always charge is at the surface. Charge is not inside the thing. Okay. Surface only you will have charge. Is there any doubt, guys? Is there any doubt, guys? Put me a message or say yes ma'am, no ma'am, something. No ma'am. Okay, cool. Right. I think we were here. We were here in the last class. Electric field strength or electric field intensity or electric field all are the same term denoted with the letter E bar. It's a vector quantity, so E bar. Now, why is it a vector quantity? Because it depends on force for it being defined, and moreover, its force is a vector quantity. Okay, an electric field also has a direction, so it's a vector quantity. So now, what is the meaning of this electric field strength, electric field intensity? I had described it in the last class using different forces. F1, what happens? F2, what happens? Basically, our source charge is, oh, source not seen, okay. Our source charge is fixed. All we do is change the test charge. When we change the test charge, the electric field is also slightly changing. So we are saying that electric field is the force that is acting per unit charge. Force acting per unit charge is what is electric field. Now let's take the force formula. Force is 1 4 pi epsilon naught q. I'm going to leave this source charge as q. Other one I'm naming as q1. Q1 by r square. Electric field is force per unit charge. This q1 and this q1 will cancel. So you are left with 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square. Okay, no need of this right now. It's just a unit vector. Okay. After magnetism, I will teach vectors. In that, these concepts again I will include. Okay, guys, this is the formula for electric field. Make sure you are clear with it. Force is q1 q2 by r square, whereas electric field is per unit charge, right? So you only have q by r square. Now tell me, what is the unit of force? Unit of force, it's a Newton. Charge, it's coulomb. So Newton per coulomb is the unit SI unit of electric field. Newton per coulomb. Homework is you have to figure out the dimensional formula for electric field intensity or electric field strength or electric field. All are the same thing. Just to confuse you, he'll ask in different way. Okay. I already told you test charge, it's called a test charge only if it's of such a small magnitude that it will not at all affect, its force cannot even reach, its force will not affect this one. Okay. See, its electric field lines shouldn't affect the source charge. Okay, this is about electric field. Electric field is the region around which its electrostatic force is felt or electrostatic influence is felt. Make a note of the formula. We have already discussed this point. I want to tell one more point over here. I think in the last class I mentioned. Suppose I want to represent these two in the form of, like, if I want to talk about force, force can be written as Q into E. Most cases you will find this formula in this way. F is equal to E into E. Why E into E is, if I'm talking about uni electron, Q equals to Ne, guys. One electron means Q becomes equals to E. So that time the formula can be written in this way. Right? Clear? So now what we want to talk about over here is actually negative charge should be there over here. Remember that electric field is opposite to the flow of electrons. Electric field is opposite to the flow of electrons concept will be coming in current electricity. Electrons is one direction means electric field is another direction. I'll explain that in current electricity. Just remember, whatever direction electron is, in opposite direction electric field. Actually electric field comes first. So electric field is in direction that is opposite to the direction of electrons. Make a note of that point. Electric field direction is opposite to the direction of electrons. See the unit over here, Newton per coulomb. It's a vector quantity. What is the meaning of this direction? Magnitude and direction are uniquely determined at every point. Uniquely determined at every point means simple. At every point, it is the respective tangent at that point. So suppose this is a positive charge, like this the field is going, means over here it's like this, over here it's like this, over here it's like the tangent. Okay. Moving further. This was already discussed. Once see the diagram, guys. If you are not understanding, we will discuss. Electric field for one positive charge. This is positive charge greater than 0, meaning this is a negative charge. For positive charge, the field lines are radially outward. For negative charge, the field lines are radially inward. right? The same thing is represented in another way. Vectors means we'll use individual lines, that's all. Field vector means individual lines. This is just electric field, straight lines. Now, one point you see here. I want to ask a question. I'm naming it. I'm naming this point. Oh, wow. 1 second. I'll use another color. Yeah, this is a point 1. This is a point 2. And this is point 3. In 1, 2, and 3, where do you think that the intensity of electric field is maximum? At point 1, is the intensity maximum at point 2 or at point 3? 3. Adish, very good. Very good. 3. Because see, it's closer. Yes. This is that 20. Okay. Very good. So here, this is close. This third point is closer to our charge. This is our charge. Closer to our charge, so its influence is also more. Farther you go away from the charge, the influence felt is also less. So you can see that in vector representation, the size of the vector indicates the strength of the charge. See, this is the most, this is little less, least, like that. Usually we don't use this representation. We have moved on to this, but just understand that where the what do you say, electric field lines are closer to each other, they are closer to each other here, means it is more here, meaning to say that it is closer to the charge, or the influence felt by that particular one is more. I think I'll say, okay, fine. Okay, moving further. We had talked about this also. Contracting lengthwise. 1 second. Here we have one positive charge and one negative charge. Positive and negative charges are going to be attracting each other. So this is the kind of field line. See, positive is releasing the electric field and it is terminating at the negative. Going in this way, going in this way, going in this way. Okay. So this is the kind of field that's developed if unlike charges are there. Look at if like charges are there, what is the kind of field that's developed? They are repelling each other in this way. They can't collide. No two electric field lines will cross each other. That's one rule. No two electric field lines will cross each other means they will go in this pattern. Okay. The word which we use over here is, see, they are contracting in this way longitudinally, lengthwise or longitudinally. See, they are expanding laterally. Are you able to hear me? I'm just worried about this every time. In the last session, was it with you guys that my microphone was off? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'm just worried actually. If you're not able to hear me, immediately, message me. Right. They are expanding laterally. These two things we have already discussed. Moving further. See, guys, if it's a uniform field, like this, they are one is a positively charged conductor, one is a negatively charged conductor. The electric field is directed. Tell me, just now I told you, if electric field is in one direction, electrons will move in another direction. So electrons are moving in this direction. Is it wrong? You tell me. Electrons are over here. Then only they can move here. Think about it. This is a positive. This is a positive. This is a negative. I can redraw this like this. This is the conductor. Oh, wait 1 second. What is the meaning of positive? What is the meaning of negative? You need to know. This is the conductor. Negative means more number of electrons. So many electrons are at this terminal. Okay. Positive means some electrons are there in this terminal. Now, this is higher concentration. This is lower concentration. Obviously, it's going to go in this direction only. Okay. So this is the correct representation. So if electric field is in this direction, electrons will move in this direction. If electric field is in this direction, then the plates will also Other way, this would be negative and this would be positive. I will explain this concept in depth in current electricity, where you will learn what is conventional direction of current and electron direction of current. So this is a uniform field. Why is it a uniform field? Uniformly charged positive and uniformly charged negative plate are there. So one second, I will erase this so that you can see clearly. These are some properties. Once look at the properties. I will already I have discussed the properties, but I'll just walk you through. So they are imaginary lines. First of all, electric field lines are not literally visible; they are imaginary. For our convenience sake, we have tried to draw them. One it's for positive words, and for negative, it's inwards. Okay. Uh, Okay, if you follow the path, it is free to do so. Also, it will emanate from the positive and go to the negative. That's what is the third point. And then they are always at a tangent. All the points I think we have discussed. They will never cross each other. See, they will never cross each other. Like this kind of thing you will never get. So it's not possible, such kind of field. Okay, some properties you need to know before moving into the next chapter. Wherever they are crowded, that region is of more electric field strength. Okay, or you can say that they are stronger electric field in that region. See, such a kind of shape also. Look at this shape. I'm saying that they are perpendicular. Wherever whatever a shape may be, they will be perpendicular only. Okay. See, they are perpendicular to the surface. Here you are understanding, it's clear. But this kind of shape also you can see that they are perpendicular. This could be a positively charged body or negatively charged body, guys, irrespective of that. The field lines are perpendicular. And we even discussed this point. They contract lengthwise and if there is an attraction and if there is a repulsion, what happens? They expand
Mom,
in a lateral way.
excuse me. Mom, I have a doubt, mom.
Yes, yes. One second.
Mom, if
Hmm.
the fields are perpendicular even in an irregular shape, there will be a
Yes.
point cross each other, no, mom.
Field lines are imaginary. Whenever we say imaginary, here at this point, I told now that's what happens. See, this is a positive charge. Let's extend this. This is a positive charge. Here they tend to cross each other, na? Adhyaksh, is it you?
Yes, mom.
So at this point, will expand laterally. This
Okay,
one will
mom.
come into picture. They can never cross each other. Crossing each other is not possible. It's not supposed to happen. It's like uh, it's like breaking the rule like that. Now, this is very important, guys. Electric dipole. I want you to just look at the diagram. You have two equal charges, both are q, but their magnitude is opposite. So, two equal and unlike charges, if I have, and if I have them spaced at some distance between them, then such a kind of a system is called as an electric dipole. Dipole is created when two equal and unlike charges are placed at some distance between each other. Basically, when dipole is created, one second. When dipole is created, rotational forces are created. Think about it, guys. You know, you're using a tap, right, for water. So when you're using a tap, you're rotating this way, one side clockwise, one side anti-clockwise. So rotational force is created. Now same thing is happening. One is positive charge and one is negative charge. Positive charge is this way. The field lines are in this way. Negative charge, the field lines are in this way. So because of the field lines being in such a way, the rotational force happens for this kind of a dipole, and the rotation also starts. It won't rotate, it's just a slight movement will happen. The movement will start from the negative and then to the positive. It's like this. First the negative will start and then the positive will start. Now dipole moment, this is called as dipole moment. moment because of the movement that's happening. Okay, dipole moment is the charge in multiplied by the distance of separation. Okay, all this right now you don't need, it's just a vector indication of vector, that's all. So it is charge times the distance between them. Guys, for convenience sake, we are assuming 2L as the distance. Ma'am, why are you not taking D? Why are you not taking R? Means, suppose I want to break the dipole, I will consider this as L and this as L. That will be done. Further, I will be considering the dipole individually. One particular charge, one particular charge. So right now, I'll take as 2L for my convenience sake. So dipole moment P bar is the magnitude, is the product of magnitude of charge and the distance of separation. See, the direction is always from negative to positive. Starts at negative, move, then comes to positive. And tell me the unit, obviously, Q is coulomb and length is meter, coulomb meter. So guys, how they ask in our NTSEs and such exams about electric dipole is only not in a numerical format, but in this kind. Either they may ask a unit, what is a dipole, which of the four is true, what is its moment, such kind of questions. An ideal dipole is a dipole with charge becomes larger and larger and separation becomes smaller and smaller. Okay. So he's just trying to tell you like this. If they are spaced at suppose 2L right now over here, if I'll increase this charge Q and Q, distance is decreasing. Meaning to say that if this increases, this decreases. That's an ideal dipole. And they'll become close, close, close as the magnitude is increasing. Magnitude of what? Charge. One is positive, one is negative. That's why attraction is happening. Okay, this is the last topic, guys. I wanted you to be familiar with these words basically. This is not there. These words are important. Electric dipole means what? Electric field means what? Okay, region around influence is felt as electric field. But look at electric potential. See, when you go to electricity chapter, those all those terms will be confusing for you if you don't know. Electric potential is V. Oh, I'll change the color. Electric potential is V. Electric potential is V over here. You might have heard potential difference. What is potential difference? The work done in moving a charge from one point to another. Suppose this is a resistor. I'm talking in electricity chapter. This is a point A, this is a point B. Some work is done in moving some charge from point A to point B. Then voltage can be measured. This is what you have learnt. But actually, this voltage or potential difference is a word that is derived from electrostatic potential. What is electrostatic potential? Is if some charge is over here. What is this charge? Source charge. If source charge is over here at some particular distance, some charge is there. So if I want to move this test charge close to the source charge, or if I want to bring from infinity, from some point from infinity, if I want to bring a charge, the work that is done to move that positive charge from infinity is called as electric potential.
Electrostatic potential.
Yeah. Clear? So this is actual definition. This is the most important definition. Now think about it. What is the formula? It is the work done to move a charge from infinity to a point. Electrostatic potential means from infinity to a point. Potential difference means from one point to another. Okay. Now substitute it in our formula. Work done formula we just learned 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R square. Q1, Q2 by R square was force. Force with respect to charge was work. Q. Now what's happening? Wait 1 second, guys. What happened? 1 second. Sorry. Over here, in the place of work done, W equals to V equals to W by Q, I can write it just like electrostatic force, but only thing is this is a scalar quantity. So 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square by Q2 means this is a Q2, this is a Q1. by Q2. So Q2, Q2 will cancel. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R square or Q1 by R square will become the formula. The only difference between electric field E and electrostatic potential is that electric field is a vector quantity, has a direction. It has a direction. This one doesn't have a direction. Both have the same formula. This one actually, I'll tell you the relation. One second. I'm just erasing. I'll tell you the relation between E and V. Make a note of it. It's not there in this slide. If I want to define electric field in terms of electrostatic potential, I will say that electrostatic potential is, or no, I'll say in this way. Electrostatic potential is the electric field per unit length. Electric field per unit length. So you can say electric field per unit length. Okay, then it will get your electrostatic potential. Same formula. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught can be written as K or 9 into 10 to the power of 9. Make a note of the formula, that's it. Okay, guys. So till now you had discussed about charge and its properties. Charge can be additive in nature, it can be quantized, and it can be conservative. Quantized meaning N into E. Then you had learnt about its properties, like charges repel and unlike charges attract. After charge, you started learning about what is an electric field. Electric field is present around a charge. Electric field had a formula. I'll not write 1 by 4 pi. You learnt electrostatic force first. K Q1 Q2 by R square, it is given by Coulomb's law. E equals to F by Q. You can derive it if you want. It's just Q by R square, and F is equal to E into Q. Lastly, you have learnt about potential. Potential is electric field per unit length. Guys, if you want, write unit length as R. Okay. First of all, is there any doubt, guys, till here? Now I'll just see if you have understood. I'll ask you some questions. Okay. Ma'am, dimensional formula. Oh, four. Believe. Okay, this was done. This was not done. First question. Try to answer it. Second one was done. A positively charged sphere A is brought close without touching, means with the property of induction. Okay, without touching to a neutral sphere B. Try to imagine situation. I'll draw it. This is one sphere A.
Negative.
This is positive. Okay, someone's telling the answer also. Good. Negative, negative. Okay, let's see. Oh, I'll not draw. This is a neutral sphere B. Sphere B is touched. Sphere B is touched to the grounded wire. Now see, actually here negative charges are induced because of positive charge being positive in nature will make negative charges to come to this end. Because negative charge came here, which will develop here, guys? Positive. This is being grounded. So these all positive charges will be removed. Now the sphere B will be uniformly negatively charged. Try to visualize the situation. Very good. Negative is right answer. So many of you have said correct answer. Good. This we have already done. I'm moving further. Use Coulomb's law for this question. See Coulomb's law and try to find. You have already, I think I gave homework for this question. I'm not sure. Try. F equals K Q1 Q2 over R square. 9 into 10 power 9 into, what is the Q?
0.2 and repulsive.
Yes, that's the correct answer. Who is this? Is it Anam or? I am unable to recognize. Anam. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Distance of
Then
separation. Okay. Distance of separation is 150, but it's in centimeters. So I'm making it into meters, guys. 150 divided by 100 whole square. F equals to K Q1 Q2 by R square. How, ma'am, this 10 power minus 6 means micro is 10 power minus 6. You want only your SI unit. Okay, guys, solving is your part. This will be the answer. Either this one or this one. Okay, and this is the answer. Try to do it now. 9 into 5 into 5 by 15. All the zeros you can put aside. 10 power 10 minus 12. This 1 0 will make it 10 power minus 1, 10 power minus 2. Oh, this is not 15, this is 225 minus 2. Like this you will get. Solving is your part. 45 table, is it 45 5s are 225, I think. Yeah. 45 5s are 225. 1 by 5. Oh, this become plus 2, no? It goes to numerator. Yeah. This is plus 12 and minus 12. This is 0. 10 power 0 is nothing but 1. 1 by 5 is the answer. See, how you calculate is up to you. Ma'am, what is epsilon? I told you, right? Epsilon not. Epsilon. It's called as epsilon. Permittivity. Permittivity of free space is epsilon. Its value is 8.854 into 10 power minus 12. Guys, I don't need you to remember this. But remember that 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught value is 10 power minus 9. Sorry, 10 into 9 into 10 power 9. Ma'am, what is epsilon naught? This is epsilon naught. Okay. One more question and we'll end the session. One, just take it down. I'll explain. I'll give you a hint. Try to do. Assignment 1 is the homework for today, guys. Monday is the submission day. You have to take it because we are analyzing who has done it. Take your time. Whenever you're free, you take it. Nothing, no need to rush. I'll draw the diagram. One is pith ball, which is having pith ball is a again electrostatic material. When rubbed, it gains charge. It gains electrons, becomes charged. It either loses or gains. Now, what was be the nature and the second charge? Okay. One is upper, one is lower. Right. The first one is of charge, positively charged. Okay. He wants the charge of this, and he's given some situation. He's asking what is the nature, what must be the nature and magnitude of the charge that is given to second pith ball B. This is pith ball A, this is pith ball B. Guys, he's asking this one's nature and magnitude so that the former or this ball is stationary. This has to be stationary, it shouldn't move. Yeah, Coulomb's law is recorded. I don't know if it's uploaded. Today it should be uploaded. Okay. There is another epsilon variable. No, same epsilon not only we have talked about. That is permittivity. Why are the units given in Newton? Because he's talking about the force. Whether the force is attractive or repulsive, he's asking. No, he's not asking about the charge. He's talking about the force that is developed. I think he's talking about the, one second, let's see. What will be the nature of charge? Yeah, it should be charge. Coulomb. Very good. Very good. Who is that? Adhyaksh. Very good, Coulomb. Now, guys, what you will get an idea about is in 9th class, I have taught you something called as free body diagram. What does free body diagram do? upward forces should be equal to downward forces. Here's something new he has given us, 8 grams, meaning to say that F equals to mg concept and Coulomb's law concept should be equated. So F1 should be equal to F2, then this spitball will remain in its original place. So why F1 should, and if F1 should be equal to F2, this force, this second one should have what kind of force? Repulsive force. If it has attractive force, then something else is happening. Okay, should have repulsive force. If it's having attractive force, this will add to this. Again, confusion. And this will also add to this. So confusion. So they should be repelling each other. So it can repel each other only if it also has positive charge. F1 is m into g. F2 is k q1 q2 by r square. M is 8 grams. G is 10. I'll take off. I'm writing the values and leaving. Please substitute and solve. 5 into 10 to the power of 8 minus 8 into Q2 we want. R is distance of separation, is it given? What was the nature? 5 centimeters. 5 into 10 power minus 2 whole square. Yeah, 5 centimeters I've seen. Start solving, guys, you will get the answer. So second, the first assignment that you have, I think only Newton's law I have given you questions. Coulomb's law I have given you questions. Try to solve these questions and let me know if you're having any doubts in the next session. From next class, we'll be starting current electricity. This is just theoretical part. There you will have more of practical part. Okay. Is there any doubts, students? I hope that it is clear. I will be ending the session as your time is over. No, ma'am. Okay, okay. If there's any doubts, please put a message to myschool24 by 7, myschool24by7.com. All right, and this video recording will also be available on your LMS. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. If you need the video recording, you can please see. Yes, thank you. You can leave the session, guys.
Thank you, mom.
Okay.